What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got to talk about the Little Nightmares franchise. This hurts. Like, there's no other way of saying it. This truly hurts. Over the last week and a half, Little Nightmares 2 came out. It was fantastic. It was better, I would say, and it gets better the more you talk about it, the more you talk about theories. It was really good. Made videos on it, talked about the future of Little Nightmares. Those videos did really well. I love it. I really, by the way, appreciate all of you guys who have watched any of the other Little Nightmares videos. We're riding on Cloud 9, okay? We're all good. And then all of a sudden, now this is a few days old, all of a sudden Thursday hits, right? February 18th, Mortal Kombat movie day. I mean, fantastic trailer, right? Not the actual movie, but, you know, everybody's just living good. And then all of a sudden, or maybe this was actually the 17th that it happened, we got word that they're done, that the studio that makes these games are finished making, at least for now, they are done making Little Nightmares. And I hope I say this right. It's Tarsier. I hope that's the right way of saying it. Tarsier Studios. Now, they are under Embracer Group, who they bought them, I believe, back in December of 2019. So that was old. That was a long time ago. Now, this game, Little Nightmares 1 and Little Nightmares 2, is a owned IP by Bandai Namco, and they're the ones who published both the games. I get it, and we'll read the, we'll do the promotion of the channel first, but we'll read the article. I understand it. But it just really, really sucks, especially after, again, all the stuff that we've talked about this game, going forward, if there's going to be more stuff. So before I get too far in, make sure if you guys do like this stuff, you're subscribed, bell icon turned on, so you know all these videos go up. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, Podcast Now 15 is my Twitter handle. I'll leave a link for that in the description below. Okay, this comes from IGN. A lot of other sites have reported it, but Tarsier Studios will, from now on, focus on creating new IPs. That's really all you need to know. Potentially spelling the end of its Little Nightmare series. It definitely is. Tarsier's parent company, Embracer Group, revealed its Q3 earnings today, including a section on the Swedish studio. After the quarter, Tarsier Studios' game Little Nightmares 2 was published by Bandai Namco and was well received by its audience, read the earnings report. Tarsier Studios will from now on focus on creating new IPs. In a webcast to accompany the earnings, Embracer CEO Lars Wingefors went into more detail. I'm super thrilled and spoke to the CEO of Tarsier the other day and congratulated him on the critical success of Little Nightmares 2. It's an IP they created, but it's owned by Bandai Namco and published by them, so it doesn't really have any significant commercial impact for us, even though if it does really well, it could have some royalty revenues over time. But I'm super excited about them achieving such a great game, because the first game was very well received, and this game looks great, or looks as well received. Now, having that game created, they will move over to create new IPs, and I'm super excited, and that was the main reason we made the acquisition a bit over a year ago. Now, IGN goes on to say, Bandai Namco could maybe hand the franchise over to somebody else. So that's the story. That's the story. Now, again, I understand it. I get it. You're the publisher, and you buy the studio, and their biggest game, Little Nightmares 1 and Little Nightmares 2, is fantastic. It gets well reviewed. It sells pretty well for what it is, but it doesn't make you money. It makes Bandai Namco money. Now, you buy the studio, and because the studio wasn't owned by Bandai Namco in the first place, you buy the studio. There is a level of letting them, complete the game. Even Microsoft, right? Microsoft bought Bethesda, and it seems like the games that, what we know so far is at least, Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop, right? They're PlayStation exclusives, and although Microsoft will own Bethesda, they're still letting them do that because they came in the middle of it, or actually towards the end. They interrupted it. They bought them. It would just look bad if they said, okay, we're scrapping all that stuff because you're under us now. You know what I mean? You don't work for them anymore. You work for us. So this is kind of actually the same thing. They bought them when they were still making Little Nightmares 2. So again, bad look to say, hey, scrap what you're doing. You wasted a couple years of your life. You're going to start making games for us now, right? That doesn't look good. And that's not what they did, and that's good for them. So, again, that's kind of goodwill. It looks good. They let them complete Little Nightmares. At the same time, again, I get it because you drop however many millions of dollars they cost to buy them. You drop it, And it's like, well, if you keep having them make Little Nightmares, if they make Little Nightmares 3, let's say, well, that takes another 2 to 4 years, let's say. So they're not making anything else unless you expand the studio, and then you're paying for it because you own them. So they're working. They got a team close to 100 people. They're working on Little Nightmares 3. It takes them 3 years to do it. You're paying for all of that. And in fact, and then you can't even publish the game because it's not owned by you. And then Bandai Namco publishes it, and then they make all the money, okay? I get why they don't want that. I get that. But this truly sucks. Again, I wasn't even the biggest Little Nightmares fan. I would say like a week and a half ago. I played the first one. I loved the first one, but I kind of, took a step back. Little Nightmares 2, I really loved. And then when you go and you look at all these theories and all these other people on YouTube like talking about the game, it gets me like really excited and pumped about Little Nightmares. And so we're all, we're kind of riding high. We're on this train. We're excited about the future. Is there going to be DLC? Is there going to be a third game? How could you wrap all this stuff up? All that good stuff. And then you hear this, that it's done. Now, again, the light at the end of the tunnel could be Bandai Namco could just get somebody else to make it. It wouldn't actually be the first time, if you look at Little Big Planet. Now, that's a very, very different kind of game, but like Media Molecule made 1 and 2. They didn't make 3. Sony got a new studio to do that. So it's not like there hasn't been games out, and that's just the first one I thought of. It's not like there hasn't been games out there that have had 2 games, and then the third game, the trilogy, was finished off by somebody else. So I would like to believe it would happen. Again, like, this isn't the biggest game in the world, but for a game from like a moderately sized studio, maybe even like a smaller studio, considering studios now are just getting bigger and bigger, a studio that's like 70, 80 people is actually relatively small. These games sell really well for that kind of thing. So if I were Bandai Namco, I would probably try to find a different team to finish it off. Now, the issue is, much like anything, if you have a movie franchise, if you have a game franchise, and you're continuing it, and it relies on the past, and you're trying to make it all kind of connect, if you have a different director or producers, like in terms of a movie, or you just have a different studio making it in terms of a game, I would say like a 50-50 shot, but I don't even think it is a 50-50 shot, but you have a coin toss of if they're going to do it right and respect it and kind of make it feel the right way where it does feel like it's part of the franchise, but also having their own, breath of fresh air, like their own stuff being added to the franchise. It's a coin toss if that actually happens or if it doesn't, okay? And so that's what sucks. So while we've been talking about the future of Little Nightmares, to me, this truly really hurts it. Now, it's exciting to see what, Tarsier Studios does next. I mean, they made Little Nightmares 1 and 2. Clearly, they're talented. They're going to continue making games. We'll be able to buy them. They'll be on all consoles, or, what consoles are out. They'll just be from a different publisher. So that's exciting. You could buy the rights. They could, this Embracer group could technically buy the IP of Little Nightmares. That's if Bandai Namco wants to give it away, and again, they'd have to sell it. So there's a lot of uncertainty. It's not the greatest story, especially after the last 7 to 10 days of us getting excited really for the future of what could happen with Little Nightmares. Definitely now not coming from the studio that made the first 2, and honestly now much less likely than it was, again, like a week or two. Now they've always known this. This has kind of been the plan, probably. They've probably known this for like a year plus, but for us, we're just finding out about it now. So again, that kind of sucks too. So let me know, guys, in the comments below, what do you think? Do you think we'll get future games just from somebody else? Do you think maybe they could buy the rights? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys have the bell icon turned on so all these videos go up. Again, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, PodcastNow15 is my Twitter handle. We'd love to have you guys over there. Thank you for watching. If there's anything else that comes out with Little Nightmares, I'll be sure to cover it. I hope to see you guys there.